Sige muna pa.
May we ask the committee secretaries of the 4 committees to please call the roll of its members. We start off with the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, COMSEC. Please call the roll.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the Committee on Dangerous Drugs, we have with us Representative Arnie B. Fuentebella, our Vice Chair, Representative Romeo M. Acop, Vice Chair, Representative Richard I. Gomez, our Vice Chair, and the
COMSEC.
Okay, on behalf of the Committee on Public Order, the COMSEC is hereby directed to to call the roll of the members of the Committee on Public Order and Safety.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Mr. Chair. The following members of the Committee on Public Order and Safety are present today. Representative Dan S. Fernandez, the chairperson. Representative Abante, Representative Barbers, Representative Paduano, Representative Fuentebella, Representative Raul Manuel, Representative Acop, Representative Arrogancia.
Thank you.
In behalf of the Committee on Human Rights, may I direct the COMSEC to please give the members of the committee.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. On the part of the Committee on Human Rights, the following members are in attendance. We have the chairperson, Congressman Bienvenido M. Abante Jr., Vice Chairperson, Congressman Sia Alonto Adyong, Congresswoman Margarita Attorney Mix Nograles, Deputy Majority Leader. With the attendance of 10 members, there is a quorum for the Committee on Human Rights, Your Honors.
Chairman, in behalf of the Committee on Public Accounts, COMSEC is directed to acknowledge all the members present. Please proceed, COMSEC.
Good afternoon, Your Honors. For the Committee on Public Accounts, we have the Chairperson, Honorable Joseph Stephen Caraps Paduano, Vice Chairperson Jorvil Luistro, Honorable Yasser Alonto Balindong, Honorable Joseph Lara, Honorable Christian Esonabia.
Remarks and as well as an opening statement of the Quadcom, being the lead chairperson of the said committee. Good afternoon, Honorable Co-Chairmen, esteemed colleagues. Welcome to the organizational meeting of the joint 4 committees referred to as Quadcom. This historical and unprecedented committee is the product of a resolution and privileged speeches which task the committee to address an urgent matter of national concern and importance, needing the consolidation of the investigations being done by 4 major committees, namely Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Committee on Public Accounts, Committee on Public Order and Safety, and Committee on Human Rights. It came about when things became clear that the 4 committees are investigating issues that are interrelated, interconnected, and intertwined. Our individual investigations confirmed the existence of big Chinese organized crime syndicate operating in our shores with the intention of undermining the security of our government. The investigations confirmed what we have long suspected. The syndicate has been operating for quite a long time already. This well-organized syndicate floods the country with dangerous drugs in probable connivance with corrupt officials and employees of the government, agencies, and possibly local government officials. Drugs destroy societies. Its uncontrolled proliferation was the main culprit why thousands of our countrymen were allegedly executed without benefit of due process. To date, we are painstakingly putting the pieces together in the hope of giving justice to the victims. As if the tons upon tons of dangerous drugs were not enough, the syndicate brought in hot money into the country to wash and launder in casinos and pogos. Once legitimized, the money is then used to buy influence in government. This influence enables the members of the syndicate to corrupt even more government workers who then issue identification papers, cards, and certifications based on falsified information, leading to their assumption of fake Filipino identities and citizenships. Agencies tasked to oversee and evaluate applications will have a lot of explaining to do, as they all invoke the so-called ministerial duties in accepting and processing applications. Once done, the syndicate formed corporations pretending to be Filipinos. The regulatory agency in charge, which never even bothered to undertake due diligence as to the real citizenship or citizenships and qualifications of those applicants, likewise invoked ministerial duties as their mandate in registering all these corporations. These dubious Filipino-controlled corporations then engage in a buying spree of properties, real estate, drug and pogo money being their main capital. Thanks to the great assistance of some local government officials and employees who facilitated these illegal transactions, of course, for a hefty fee or price, of course. To perpetuate this illegal activity, there has to be unlimited source of funds. Thus, drugs continued to flood our shores and pogos became the hubs of all kinds of criminality, such as kidnap for ransom, murders, tortures, human trafficking, money laundering, cybercrimes, cyber scams, and other unspeakable crimes. Pogo, an entity completely alien in our culture until Executive Order Number 13 was issued, became a monster almost overnight. In the guise of being a savior by bringing in much needed revenues that the government may use for healthcare and other priority projects, Pogo turned out to be a dud and revealed its true color as the worst curse any government system could ever face. Pogos, in reality, became the faster vehicle for the members of the syndicates to come ashore and become legitimate visitors, investors, students, and even citizens. No thanks to the dozens of agencies empowered to issue all kinds of visas for a price, again, of course. That likewise empowered the syndicate to operate almost unnoticed and unhampered, and even protected by some members of our own law enforcement agencies. Now it becomes the daunting task of this new committee to continue in a unified and stronger front what the individual committees have started, in the hope of crafting legislative solutions as well as assist greatly in the prosecution and conviction of the perpetrators, conspirators, and masterminds of the whole criminal network. By unmasking them and exposing their activities through this wide congressional investigation, we promise that we will leave no stone unturned until we have finally solved the puzzle. So thank you very much and good afternoon to all our members present today. Representative Dan Fernandez, you are recognized. Our Senior Deputy Speaker, Congressman Aurelio Dong Gonzales, you are now recognized for your opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Chairman Dan, Chairman Abante, Chairman Caraps, and to our colleagues, members of these various committees, good afternoon to all of us. The only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. That is Edmund Burke. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. 4 months, our country has been hounded by issues on extrajudicial killings linked to the previous administration, the war on drugs, continuous prevalence in the manufacture and trafficking of illegal drugs in the country, and the criminal activities associated with the now banned Philippine offshore gaming operators. We in the House of Representatives did not sit idly by and we acted upon these issues with urgency and inherent resolve. In fact, the Committees on Public Accounts and Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety and Human Rights conducted numerous inquiries to pinpoint the root cause of these issues and find the people accountable in perpetuating these human atrocities. These meetings were conducted based on their respective jurisdictions and prescribed by the 19th Congress, the rules of the House. Here's rundown of the recent investigations being conducted by the four committees. The Committee on Public Accounts investigated the anomalous and irregular purchase of 10,000 square meters of land in Mexico, Pampanga, wherein a certain A.D. Tai Yang bought an agricultural parcel of land with an aggregate amount of 3 million pesos, which he later sold to the local government unit with an exorbitant price of 29.5 million pesos. It was later revealed that Mr. A.D. Yang is involved in a network of illicit activities with broader implications to national security. During the course of the investigation, it was found out that A.D. Tai Yang is a Chinese national who illegally obtained a Filipino identity. He is likewise the CEO of Yatay Industrial Park and either an incorporator or connected with Yatay International, Omni, Sunflare, Golden Sun 999, among others. It was later identified that A.D. Tai Yang is likewise an incorporator of Empire 999, where a 3.6 billion peso worth or more than 560 kilos worth of shabu were seized in one of their warehouses. Meanwhile, the Committee of Dangerous Drugs investigated the seizure of illegal drugs in a warehouse in Mexico, Pampanga. Again, the confiscated drugs last September 2023 is considered the biggest drug haul of the Marcos administration at that time. During the proceedings, information provided by the SEC linked A.D. Tai Yang to a certain Willie Ong, both serving as incorporators of Empire 999. Both were Chinese nationals who are pretending to be Filipinos and who obtained fake certificates of live births, passports, and other documents. The panel found that ex-Duterte advisor Michael Yang's interpreter Lincoln Ong, a prominent figure of the Parmali scandal, is also incorporator of a firm with alleged ties to all other shell activities, including Empire 999. The committee then invited Mr. Michael Yang to shed light on the interlocking incorporators of all the corporations connected with Empire 999 Realty Incorporated. In his testimony, former Police Colonel Eduardo Acierto involved Michael Yang in the illegal drugs trade in the country. Just recently, Mr. Yang was cited in contempt due to his continuous absences in the proceedings and utter disregard for the invitation sent to him. On the other hand, the Committee on Public Order and Safety, joined with the Committee on Games and Amusement, discovered the connection of illegal Philippine offshore gaming operators of illegal drug operations. Last August 5, House officials led Speaker Martin G. Romualdez and myself, Committee Chairpersons Dan Fernandez, Antonio Ferrer, Robert Ace Barbers, Joseph Stephen Paduano, Romeo Acop, Representatives Johnny Pimentel and Janet Garin, and PAO CC Undersecretary General Gilbert Cruz visited Junyuan Technology Inc. Imbamban Tarlac, Lucky South 999, Gaming Incorporated in Porac, Pampanga, and a warehouse owned by Empire 999 Realty Corporation in Mexico, Pampanga, where the 3.6 billion worth of illegal drugs was found. Finally, the Committee on Human Rights produced considerable output composed of testimonies of the kin of drug war victims that can potentially be used as additional evidence by ICC prosecutors in their pursuit of justice against the bloody campaign of war on drugs on the previous administration. Dinaluhan po natin ang lahat ng committee meetings na ito. And in the course of these inquiries, I can positively deduce that the issues being scrutinized by each committee are correlated and intertwined with one another. There were identical and common personalities involved, and there are intervening circumstances and interwoven issues based on factual antecedents and were discovered during the hearings. Kaya naman, I called for a joint investigation by the 4 committees during my privileged speech last August 5 to warrant a holistic and comprehensive submission of a report of the plenary. A unified investigation will strengthen on trust. Consolidating resources will give us faster results, which more than ever is critical as we are racing against time. A protracted investigation is utterly unacceptable because the stakes are too high and too precious to lose. Through our collective efforts and iron-willed resolve, we can finally put an end to this menace. Magsisilbi itong makabuluhang legacy para sa ating lahat na bahagi ng 19th Congress. This will also be our major contribution in the current administration hopes for a bagong Pilipinas. On that note, Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. Dakal pong salamat.
Thank you very much, Senior Deputy Speaker Aurelio Dong Gonzales Jr. Before we acknowledge the next speaker, may we acknowledge the presence of Congressman Siriaco Gato, the Chairman of the Committee on Health, Congressman Bambi Emano of the 1st District of Misamis Oriental, and Representative Franz Castro of the ACT Teachers Party List. Thank you. Now we proceed with Congressman Dan Fernandez. You are now recognized.
Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. Mahaba po to. 8 pages plus 21 pages. So 29 pages po to. Pero yung 21 pages po, we will be issuing to the different members. Ito po yung mga summary of issues raised during the hearings nung joint committee hearings that were conducted with Committee on Games and Amusement. Correct. Yung po mga testimonies, mga resource persons and witnesses, we will be giving it to all the members for their perusal para makita po nila yung naging tema nung amin pong hearing, nung nakaraang 4 na hearings. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. On behalf of the members of the Committee on Public Order and Safety, kinagagalak po namin at kami ay nagpapasalamat sa pamunuan ng Kongreso na kami ay bahagi ng malawakang investigasyon sa committee. Hanggang sa unti-unti nating natuklasan ang pagkakakonekta at kaugnayan ng mga key personalities sa bawat aspeto ng ating pagsisiyasat. The Committee on Public Order and Safety is mandated to look into all matters directly and principally relating to the suppression of criminality, including those on illegal gambling, private armies, terrorism, organized crime, and illegal drugs. As a matter of fact, the committee has been holding a series of hearings into the illegal buy-bust operations being conducted by unscrupulous members of drug enforcement units of the Philippine National Police. On July 5, 2024, the Speaker ordered a comprehensive congressional investigation into the criminal activities linked to POGOs. He declared that the move will underscore the government's commitment to curbing illegal activities and ensure that existing regulations are effectively enforced. He further stated that it is imperative to identify and unmask the masterminds and protectors behind the illegal POGO operation so that they can be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. Pursuant to the directive of the Speaker, the Committees on Public Order and Safety and Games and Amusements commenced the joint motu proprio inquiry. in aid of legislation into the proliferation of criminal activities and unlawful acts linked to POGOs, with the end in view of recommending corrective actions. The congressional investigation shall further result in recommendation for the enactment of a legislative measure with the ironclad provisions against the resurgence of POGOs. The Committees on Public Order and Safety and Games and Amusement conducted 4 meetings, with the initial hearing held on July 17, 2024, and succeeding hearings on July 23, 31, and August 7, 2024. On August 5, 2024, the committee chairpersons, together with the Speaker, the Senior Deputy Speaker, and fellow legislators, also conducted an ocular inspection of Sun U1 Technology Incorporated, which is situated in the Baupu compound in Bamban, Tarlac, and Lucky South 99, which is located in the multi-hectare Royal Thai Court property in Porac, Pampanga. These POGO hubs have been shuttered following joint law enforcement operations conducted early this year. During our initial hearing, we found out that among the crimes associated to POGOs are murder and homicide, human trafficking, torture, prostitution, forcible abduction, kidnap for ransom, robbery, extortion, drug trafficking, cybercrime, money laundering, and tax evasion. The Presidential Anti-Organized Crime Commission presented a video on the extent of these heinous criminal activities linked to POGOs. Kung gusto niyo po makakuha ng mga videos, meron po tayo. Ibibigay po natin sa lahat ng mga members and even the torture victims for you to comprehend the gravity of the situation. The PAOK also presented a timeline of events in Bamban, Tarlac, highlighting the role of former Mayor Alice Lialgo in facilitating the establishment of POGO operation in that area. Also presented was evidence of alleged involvement of individuals like Xiyang Wang and Bernard Chua in the POGO operations. The committees also heard the testimony of Mr. Dilan, a victim of human trafficking. Meron din po tayong video ibibigay sa ating mga members. The committee also discussed so many related matters that include ang jurisdiction ng PAGCOR. Ano ba ang jurisdiction nila? Sa issuance ng executive orders and regulation covering offshore gaming from 2016 up to present. Ano ang mga responsibilidad ng ating pong mga LGUs? May kinalaman po ba ang mga mayors? May kinalaman po ba ang mga congressman? May kinalaman po ba ang mga senador? At may kinalaman po ba ang mga dating at kasalukuyang mga namumuno sa ating bansa? The crucial mission ng Bureau of Immigration is also at stake. The responsibility of the National Telecommunication Commission, the DTI, the DICT, at ating mga telcos companies in exposing the fraud committed by illegal POGOs in preventing the misuse of SIM card registration and distribution and in providing valuable data on internet usage. Importante din po yung AMLAC. Sapagkat dito po natin nakita ang koneksyon ng pag-ikot ng pera ng involved sa BOGO at ganoon din po sa drug syndicate. Further, based on the testimonies of the administrators of the Cagayan Economic Zone, pati na po yung sa APAB, pati na yung sa Aurora, the committees found out that POGO do not operate in these areas. During the succeeding hearings, the committees heard the testimonies of many personalities like Attorney Harry Roque, si Mayor Jing Capili, si Mr. Dennis Cunanan, Julian Linsangan, and among others, at marami pang iba. These all personalities that I mentioned, you can get the copy of all this report that we have submitted to all the members. The committees also heard the statement of our esteemed Presidential Legal Counsel Secretary and former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, as well as former PAGCOR Chairperson Andrea Domingo, into the proliferation of POGO operation. They noted that POGO operation were not prevalent before 2016. Bago po ang 2016, wala po masyadong POGO. But the situation changed after the issuance of Executive Order number 13 in 2017, which mandated the regulation of POGO operations. mahaba pa po to. Pero iiklihan ko na lang po talaga mga kasama. Ayan, nagpapasalamat na po ang aking mga kasamahan. At yung matrix naman po that we created, we have the copy of the matrix about the investigation that was conducted by the poor chairman, and then we collated in one matrix. And so we will be giving that to all the members as well. Our investigation have uncovered preliminary findings linking POGO operation to drug trafficking and money laundering. The matrix highlights the interconnectedness of various individuals and corporations, demonstrating how seemingly unrelated entities are connected through shared incorporators, business ventures, and financial transaction. As I have repeatedly stated, we need to ferret out the truth and identify the perpetrators of these illegal activities and hold them accountable for the crimes they committed and ensure that the victims of these crimes obtain true justice. My dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to end by reiterating this quote. Ginamit na po ni SDS kanina yung quote ni Edmund Burke. Yun din po ang gagamitin ko. Wala na ako magagawa. Ginamit na niya. Ang sabi ni SDS, the only thing necessary for the triumph of evil is for good men to do nothing. Di ba? Tatagulugin ko na lang po. Para magtagumpay ang masasama, dapat walang gawin ang mabubuti. Kaya kung mabubuti po kayo, kumilos tayo. At kung masama kayo, huwag kayong kumilos. Maraming salamat at magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat.
The chairman of the Committee on Human Rights, Representative Bienvenido M. Abante Jr., you are now recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. What do we make of sufferings of our people beyond what they can bear? Have we ever imagined in our lifetime the loss of lives of so many women, children, poor and underprivileged, some of whom had become victims of vices of drugs and wrongdoings? Many of them, perhaps all of them, who were violently shot at, were innocent until proven guilty by the courts of law. And yet, none of those thousands instantly killed during the war on drugs policy of the past administration were exacted with justice. Our Constitution declares, and I quote, "No person shall be deprived of life, liberty, and property without due process of law, nor shall any person be deprived the equal protection of the laws." But this constitutional provision was unceremoniously blotted out by the blood and tears of the victims of extrajudicial killings. From 7,640 illegal drug suspects who died in police operations to a total of recorded 20,322 deaths for the period of July 1, 2016 to November 27, 2017, or a daily average of 39.46 deaths. The death of one person is a tragedy. The deaths of thousands is an even greater tragedy. Isaiah 1:17 and Psalm 82 verse number 3 tell us, and I quote, "Learn to do well, seek judgment, relieve the oppressed, judge the fatherless, plead for the widow, defend the poor and fatherless, do justice to the afflicted and needy." Today, the journey of ferreting the truth, seeking justice and healing of our people begins with this very important meeting. Good afternoon, honorable members and chairman of the Joint Committee on Dangerous Drugs, Public Order and Safety, and Public Accounts. The Committee on Human Rights has conducted 5 public hearings and 1 briefing on the alleged extrajudicial killings, or EJKs, committed during the implementation of the War on Drugs policy under the administration of former President Rodrigo Duterte.